Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Clash review with me, John Parker, and
Me, Jack Howling, and today we are reviewing episode 7, The Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did. You have got to be on something strong to come up with a name like that as a title.
I didn't think it was a joke, really, but
Either a joke or the writer was literally torn between two titles.
yeah,
Even though the What Quill Did part, I suppose it
it's
is relevant because obviously
yeah.
she had a choice between living as a slave to the
I
prince
I
or
personally would say the
freedom.
metaphysics engine wasn't the most important part of the writing, which is probably why he probably thought the metaphysics engine was a really cool title, and then was like, but that's not really what the episode's mainly focusing on. Let's talk about also the what Quill did as well, and that's probably why he joined the two titles together.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, this episode in particular was rather interesting to point of view of seeing more into Miss Quill. And obviously, throughout these review videos, we have been talking about what kind of person or individual she's going to be like once things been removed. Which, of course, we still won't know fully yet until the next episode, because obviously the end of the episode is when she got the arm removed from her brain. But throughout the entire episode, we kind of saw a more compassionate and more loving side to Quill. Especially her kind of, I'm going to call it a relationship between her and that other soldier, the shapeshifter. There was quite a very interesting, strong bond there, you know.
Hmm.
And she's got the good sarcasm and the good humour, but she's not like a character where they're literally bent on, full destruction. I mean, yeah, she calls herself, she kind of abbreviates herself as war itself, right? But that's just from the outside. On the inside, she seems very. She does seem like a compassionate person, or at least has the ability to be compassionate anyway. But of course, the only reason why we see her as she is because of what she's been forced to do. I mean, if you were forced to become I don't know, a slave, for example, and the slightest mistake you make would mean that your brain would just be eaten alive or whatever. You know, you kind of develop that personality.
Mm.
So this episode really focused on how she is as an individual if she never had that on in the brain, which of course now she doesn't. This episode was in particular, obviously, this episode ran concurrent with the previous episode, so while the group was dealing with that weird asteroid, she was going
Me
through
too.
whatever. She was dealing with finding these key elements to get her get the iron removed from her brain,
Hmm.
which I thought was very interesting, which I'll move on in a moment. So basically, we started off with Quill, the governor, the headmistress, what should I say, and this weird shapeshifter prisoner. Um, and the idea was that all three of them was to go to three individual places, or three. What was it they used? They're not actual real places. They're like
They
places
they
made of
were the
thought, I believe.
formations of the beliefs of certain races.
And through that, they managed to acquire key elements that were going to be used during Quill's surgery to remove the arm. Because from the first world, which was where the Arn were born, as I put in quotations with my fingers, because I was a bit confused when they were talking about. Quill said that they're grown, but apparently they actually breed, but they're not.
Mm.
It's the belief that they themselves have that think that they can be bred, because obviously if they are sentient beings or have that level of sentient ability, then they would
Hmm.
also dream of, a heaven, a hell, things they'd want to do when if they're free, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was made up, and they needed to get the yarn for what did they need the yarn for? I can't quite remember.
Wasn't it to draw out the arm that was in her head or something, or calm it, or I can't exactly remember what she said.
No, yeah, I think you're right. It's something like that, but it was a bit more kind of like that one went over
Convoluted.
me. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
the next world was that they needed the Well,
blood thing, wasn't it? A sample of blood from the devil of.
it was like a hunk of flesh in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it'd ripped out like a small heart of some sort.
So it could reanimate her flesh and actually repair. I would say a bit of damage, but in this case, a lot
Her
of
entire
damage.
face.
Yeah, pretty much. That was pretty interesting. I'll get onto that in a moment. And of course, the head of a quill.
Yeah, which for the brain.
So the shapeshifter knew what he was looking for and where to obviously not go. Because obviously, alien physiology inside is always different. So that was the basic idea, getting these key elements so that the surgery could be done and then remove the arm. But of course, there was a lot more to that. Of course, their relationship was developed. And not only that, but that headmistress is becoming more and more suspicious as time goes. And again, as we said before, they are very good researchers. Very good researchers, because I mean, half the stuff they was doing was by notes.
Yeah, she had a notebook. It's like, hang on a sec, let me just consult my notes.
Yeah, it was literally, it was insane. And we kind of saw a very evil side to these governors. Although,
yeah, at the end there, because they were forcing them to fight between each other because of the fact that only one could go back or something.
however, there's a bit of a loop with this one. I mean, if you look at it this way, the governors don't seem to threaten humans, as in, people who are born and bred on Earth. They've got nothing against us. It's extraterrestrials, so they're literally like a form of unit, but they're not military, they're civilian. So what we're probably talking about with these governors is business types or people who have a lot of access to a lot of information, and not only information but also technology as well. With that sort of thing, it's this kind of thing that money could buy. So that's where these governors probably come from. But they seem to be more observant than even UNIT or any other, like even Torchwood as well. Well, Torchwood is kind of dead now. But no, the governors seem to be a lot more kind of into what comes into Earth, or well, through the cracks in time, rather than anyone else. So that's intriguing. And I did think that what they did at the end was pretty harsh, but like I said, those two were aliens, and not only that, but they're also convicts too. Well, I say convicts, criminals.
Yes.
Except for the shapeshifter, because he said that he was innocent. But yeah.
Well, I will say though, I know I'm changing the subject quite a bit actually.
No, go ahead.
You know the Arn?
Mm-hmm.
They're rather big, aren't they? I mean, compared to, because I thought that they'd be like, I don't know, some sort of little creature that just burrows itself on top of the brain. Just,
Microscopic, yeah.
Yeah, well, not microscopic, but just like small, just enough to fit in a cranium, and yet have enough room for the brain, of course, to sit. But those things are massive, so they must literally hug the brain.
Yeah.
Literally hug the brain and then move about. Can you imagine feeling that?
Not really. That's something you want to imagine.
Oh, it really is.
And
something I have to think about.
While you're on that last bit at the end, oh, God.
What, with the thing coming out of her eye?
Well, just everything.
And
the reanimation part was like, oh, that's better. God, I mean, yeah, you got a scar down your your right side of your face, left side, and your eye's pretty weird, but fair enough. You can see
she
again.
had all of her flesh pouring out of her. I mean,
it was literally like it was. If you punch like a pencil through a paper.
Yeah.
And you got
all of that
the kind of thing over. Yeah. Literally just like that. It's like an entire flesh was just ripped open. How the hell? Thing is as well, for it to come through this part of the eye, there's literally bone there.
I know.
It broke through a bone.
I have literally no idea how on earth that was done. Well, technically no, because I do believe this part of the eye is actually, there's literally not much going on behind there, and I think the bones are only around it here, so it might have been able to just bypass those bones. But either way, the amount of flesh that was ripped out of her face is surprising she didn't bleed to death.
Well, but I think she might have done in the end. But that was where the little flesh thing came in to help reanimate the tissue.
Well, she was still alive. She was still moving. Remember?
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, it would have been. Actually, yeah. For it to go through a skull like that, that would have been instantaneous death. Well, it should have been anyway.
No, because it was going outwards. It was already in the brain. Well, not in the brain, but on the brain.
Either way.
Yeah.
Characters and actors' performance. I thought Kathleen Kelly did a really good job in this one today.
Yeah.
Really good performance. And like I said before, Quill's character has definitely developed, and it's leaned me towards believing that she will definitely come around in the end. And from the look of the Next Time trailer, I think she might actually join the team. I don't think she's going to be a fully blown evil, but then again, we never know. The last bit where she climbed through the cabinet was odd. How the hell they did that, I have no idea.
How on earth did she jump that high to...
Well, actually,
go through the door?
That doesn't matter. What matters is how she got in there, because obviously that headmistress put her there, didn't she? So, you know when in the last... was it the last episode or the one before that? You know the one where April went into the Shadowkin world and those flower petals?
I think it was the one before that.
Yeah. Obviously she was in front of the cabinet when it opened. So perhaps the headmistress got some readings, some data, or some sort of significant thing that allowed them to actually transport into that world.
That, or they're just really clever.
But saying that, the Doctor could use the TARDIS to actually land in that specific space in the cabinet, which means he's in there. So, you never know. We never know. I'm pretty sure we'll find out soon anyway.
There is something else I want to bring up. At the very end, when she collapses onto the floor, what were they looking at? Because it looked as if they were looking down, like they spotted something. They were looking at her face, and all of a sudden they started to look across, and they were like, "What on earth?" Their faces showed an expression of "What on earth is that?"
What? I don't...
At the end, when she collapses, when she holds the gun, and she says about it, and she just collapses onto the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looked like they were puzzled as to what they were looking at.
I don't quite get you, because the prince grabbed the gun.
Yeah. And then she collapsed.
Yeah, I think you'll just find the prince was surprised he's the yarn out and therefore reacted and then grabbed the gun. Getting ready to protect himself.
It looked like they'd spotted something on her. That was worrying them.
I think they were just... You really think that they was worried about Quill?
No, not worrying about her, but worrying about something. I don't know. But anyway,
he just grabbed the gun so he could protect himself, because he was just astonished that the yarn was even removed, because obviously these people developed that, so it would never happen, but hey-ho, it just did. So there was a lot of character development in this episode, a lot of information towards Quill. The governors were still in the dark as to who that or what that organisation truly is about. I don't even think we're going to be able to get much information in this series. Perhaps in the next one, if they have confirmed that already, I'm not sure. So either way, we'll end on that. So John, your verdicts for the episode?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that the writing was extremely good. I liked... Oh, quick thing, guys. The room that they get teleported into while they're transporting, that like sci-fi style the room with all those different walls, that looked very reminiscent of a TARDIS, or using references to how the TARDIS is built, because if you notice that it's in a hexagonal styled shape, and when the camera was viewing the floor of that room, it was using those great styled things that were reminiscent of the current TARDIS.
Yeah,
and I just thought, and the shapes on the walls, they looked very similar to like Gallifreyan text. It wasn't Gallifreyan text, but it looked similar to, because of the circular thing. And yeah, I really enjoyed that little referencing, or that kind of style. Also, there was a sound effect in one of those scenes, like metal cooling, and it was the exact same sound effect they used for the TARDIS cooling. I know it was, because it sounded extremely similar to. I'm sure if you compared the two, they would sound extremely similar, if not the same. So I do believe that the BBC have recycled a little tiny weeny bit of the Doctor Who series there as a cool reference to it, and I really enjoyed that. What was you saying, Jack?
Also, don't forget the reference to the Zygons as well.
Yes.
Taking
So
the look
yeah,
of the shapeshifter being a shapeshifter and a shapeshifter.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying the link that they've made here, and that's why I'm great that there's finally something that's in the Doctor Who universe.
Yeah.
But anyway, my final verdict then, after concluding all that, is a whopping 10.
Good. I think I agree. I'm going to go for a 10 as well. So, folks, that is the end of our review. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you again in the next video. So, until then, take care, and remember...
And let your geek side out, guys. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. That is all we have for today, folks.
Join us again next week on another Saturday Geeks video to find out what adventure we embark on next.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and comment on the video below. Remember to subscribe so you can keep up to date with our latest videos.
Till next time.
Take care, stay safe, and remember...
Let your geeky side out.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip.